Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your Vibe mentor, and this continues to be the place for conscious, purpose driven entrepreneurs who are looking to remove the blocks that hold them back so that you can manifest abundance and assist in creating heaven on earth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be here with you again. We're making this more of a frequent occurrence again, and I'm excited about that. I truly do love being here with you. So, pardon my open window. If you know me, you know I am in the Midwest in Wisconsin. It has been cold and chilly, and the more open window time that I can get, the better. And of course, as you know, letting the light in, letting the fresh air in is important. So, the microphone should handle the wind okay for you. Let me know if it's a problem on your end. So let's talk today about uncommon money blocks. There's sort of the sneaky ones that hide behind a fragile ego or disassociation or complex trauma, right? So disassociation is when the mind, it doesn't want you to look at something. It says, don't go there, right? It's not safe. There's too much pain there, right? And so it's very interesting how we manifest from not what we desire or what we want, but who we think we are. And so our money blocks can be directly connected to our sense of self-worth, which means if it in any way challenges our value and worth, the brain will say, that's too painful. Don't look at that. Don't go there. And so these money blocks can be very sneaky and hidden. And if you struggle with self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, or manifestation, check out the live masterclass happening in just a couple days. The link is below. We're getting together live on Zoom on Friday because that is going to be all about shifting your self-worth and your self-concept. And that really is the foundation of your manifestation, right? It's the foundation of your beliefs. It's the foundation of your entire life. Everything you create stems from that place of who you believe yourself to be and what you believe you deserve, right? So check that out. That's huge. But what is a money block? A money block is it's a limiting belief. It's a limiting self-concept. It is unfounded fears. It is negative self-talk. It is complex trauma conditioning or just general wounding, right? It doesn't have to be trauma, but usually they do go hand in hand, or at least I would say the trauma responses, the trauma symptoms show up in as intimately connected with your value and worth, that feeling of being enough, and then of course your ability to manifest more of something that you feel is lacking in your life. So how do money blocks show up, right? Maybe you can't reach a financial goal. Maybe you have identified that you want to make 100,000 a year and you can't quite make progress. Maybe you get close but you don't quite get there, or that feeling of never having enough money for fun or extras like a vacation or entertainment on the weekends, that questioning of how much is in the bank account and can I meet the needs of the kids, or can we go on that cruise with the friends that are suggesting it, right? We may struggle to even buy new clothes or new shoes when they're needed, when it's a new season and it's time to buy those things. Maybe you frequently overdraft your account. Maybe you get penalized by late fees on credit cards. Maybe you don't get regular pay raises. Maybe you only get the 2% every year instead of a 5 or 10% every year or two that would be reasonable for someone who tries hard, right? Maybe you obsessively think about money. You might even struggle with sleep or losing weight, right? It's that general feeling of safety and being cared for and being supported. And so we tend to cling or hold on to things, which creates anxiety, which prevents sleep, right? Maybe you don't open your bills. Maybe you don't look at your bank account. Maybe you've made a budget, but you don't stick to it. Maybe you give too much or you spend too much or you hoard and cling to your money. Either way, your money is restricted. Um, Common money blocks that we most often hear about are, money doesn't grow on trees. That might be one of the most popular ones, right? Or you have to work hard for money, or that phrase that too many people throw around, that's too expensive, I can't afford that, right? These are all limiting beliefs which are leading to your money blocks. Maybe you've said it's too hard to save that much money, maybe for a down payment or for a car, right? Or maybe you've said I'll always be in debt. Or maybe you believe that wanting money is shallow or that it's not spiritual. Now, these are some of the common money blocks that we all know about. And even when we know about them, we haven't always moved through them. So I will say it is important to do the work around this. And what does that work look like? We'll dig into that in just a minute. But what are some of the uncommon money blocks, the sneaky money blocks? I didn't count this to let you know how many there are. Let me see if I can do that quick. But I've noticed that these sort of hang out in your blind spots, right? They're kind of back here, directly connected to that sense of self-worth, that sense of worthiness, which means that there's wounding around that, which means the limbic brain, the emotional brain will not let you look at it because it's too painful. And so we would rather just live as we are and accept what is and don't get too hopeful, so that way we're not disappointed. And well, everybody else is living here too, so we may as well just be part of the crowd and go with the flow, right? We have 11 uncommon money blocks for you. Imagine that. 11, 11. Watch your thoughts, because you are creating with your thoughts, right? The definition of, or one of the meanings of 11, 11, right? So that first one of having to work hard to earn it can also look like I haven't exhausted myself enough to deserve it, right? Working hard is one thing, but when you're never enough and when you can never do good enough, you will push yourself to the brink of death almost to prove that you have earned that right to ask for more money in your life. Maybe you believe that you have to perfect yourself to deserve it, that you are not good enough, but you could get better. And if you believe if you can step closer to perfection, reach that highest possible potential that is available to you, which is not necessarily a bad thing until you start limiting yourself with it. And you might believe that until I'm perfect, right? We always putting the goal out into the future. Until I'm perfect, I don't deserve this, right? Number 3 is we will think we fear others will think less of us for wanting money, right? It kind of ties into that. It's shallow, but we fear that they'll even reject us or criticize us for wanting money. And this really touches into one of the most primal fears that we have, going all the way back to the tribal days, where if you are rejected from the tribe, if you are ostracized, if you are shut out, you will die. And so, the limbic brain is also part of the oldest part of the brain, the reptilian brain, as they call it. It remembers those days when being shut out or isolated was deadly. And so it fears isolation or being ostracized as if it would die from this. And so if having more money, becoming wealthy, becoming successful, becoming rich, heaven forbid we use that word, that meant that you would be different. If it meant that you would be different or somehow kicked out of your friend group, your reptilian brain will believe that is the end of your life. And so it will keep you from it. And the pretty interesting part about the brain is we have what we call the prefrontal cortex is in charge of executive function, right? It's in charge of intelligent decision. But surprisingly enough, the limbic brain, the part of the brain that's close to the spine, close to your emotional part of your brain, will override the intelligent brain every time. So as long as you have this belief inside of you that it's not safe in some way, shape, or form, you will never be able to bootstrap your way there. You will never be able to bulldoze through this. It only shifts and changes when we start to shift our self-concept and shift our beliefs around how safe it is to have these things. Right? Number 5, we believe that money might bring hurtful people into our lives. Or number 6, that we might be used for our money. Or number 7, that we might be a target. Right? If we believe historically people have not been safe and I have not healed that wound that attracts unsafe people to me, I continue to reaffirm the belief that people are not safe. And therefore, by having more money, we become even more unsafe. Right? So safety is the job of the brain, and especially the older parts of your brain that are in charge of survival. So if any of that resonates for you, know that you're going to need to do that reprogramming. Somatic healing therapies work for healing these beliefs, healing the trauma, the conditioning, the programming, the wounding that prevents you from stepping into your fullest potential, from fully self-actualizing, which includes wealth and riches and money, right? Even notice if those words trigger you, then look for it in your body, notice where you feel that discomfort and sit with that, be present with that until it shifts and moves. Right. Number 8, we fear we might fail, right? We might fail at managing money. We might fear the failure and the loss and the disappointment that can come from getting your hopes up or getting used to living this lifestyle and then having it all ripped out from under you. Again, you notice how this is connected to survival. It's connected to our beliefs of how capable we are of preventing these things. And when you do the healing, when you have come to a place of strength in yourself and certainty in your knowing of your capability, then these will start to become less of an issue because you know that I am strong, I am capable, I am wise, I am intuitive, I am intelligent. I will see the signs, I will honor the red flags, and I will be kept safe by myself, by source, and by whatever support team you have available to you. Right. And in the end, here we've got number 10. We fear that it might make us arrogant or corrupt. And we fear, again, that it will separate us in some way, again, tying into that corruption or that arrogance or becoming a bad person. I find it very fascinating and interesting that a lot of the Disney movies or the kids movies, the bad guy is always the rich guy, right? And that's programming. We have received the message that somehow we will be separated from everyone else. We'll become the bad person. We will become corrupt, and we will not use our money for good, when the truth is that money amplifies what you already are. So ideally, you would heal first. And in fact, I think you won't be able to manifest the abundance that you're seeking without that healing. But from there, there's a good person under there. There's a really good person under there, someone who's kind and gentle and loving and desires to make the world a better place. And so allowing the universe to support you through the energy of money so that you can make an impact, because income is impact. Overflow in your life allows you to overflow in other lives. It does not mean that you will be corrupted or become a bad person or be the bad guy in the Disney movie. So all of this stems from how you see yourself. All of this is intimately connected with your self-concept, your sense of value and worth, your sense of trust in yourself, your sense of knowing yourself deeply for the truth of who you are. And that's why the masterclass on Friday is going to talk about and teach you and revolutionize your life and your ability to see the truth of who you are, to reunite yourself with oneness, that the veil of illusion is perception, is beliefs, is how you see yourself. It is the thing that keeps you from everything that you seek and desire. Your desires were put on your heart by the divine for a reason. Trust the guidance of your desires. There is nothing bad. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing inherently evil about money. It is purely an energy, the way oxygen is. We can choose to receive the support of it, or we can reject it. But what happens when we reject oxygen? We struggle. We may even die. And the same goes for every other type of energy. Everything is perfect as it is. Any form of resistance creates discomfort and suffering in your life. If you are in resistance to the currency that currently makes the world go round, you will suffer. There is something happening right now as it relates to money for spiritual, conscious, good-hearted people. There is an overflow. There is not a word big enough. It makes me think of the water park that has the big tub that fills with water, and then when it's finally full, it tips and pours out. That's what's happening right now with money. The bucket is filling and filling and filling and filling and filling. It is being taken from those who are not good stewards of the world's resources so that it can be poured out into those who will nourish the world and help create heaven on earth. The new earth is up to us to build, and that's why it will be given to us. But you have to do your job. You have to do your part by being able to receive it. You have to be able to look at these beliefs. Now, my recommendation to you is journal. And you might feel like, hopefully, this has opened your eyes to the vast majority of variations of possible money blocks. But the next step is to sit with them and journal about, what do I think my money blocks are? And even if you think you've already moved through them, start with the ones you think you've moved through. Say, I used to believe this and I used to believe that. And I promise you, if you keep going, if you're dedicated to it and you're sitting in stillness and quiet enough, you will start to see, oh, but I also still believe XYZ. And you will discover the key to reprogramming, allowing yourself to open and receive. Because there is zero evidence, there is zero reason to believe that receiving money, riches, wealth, financial support of any kind, abundance of any kind is negative. It's not. And it's a choice for you to sit down and do the work. It's a choice for you to continue to believe these things. And if you can't make it happen, if you can't wrap your head around it, and if no matter you journal, you meditate, you use all the affirmations and you still struggle, that is where you need the somatic healing therapy. Reach out to me if you want. I do free sessions. Otherwise, find someone else that does somatic healing. But you've got to start to work with the reptilian part of the brain to remove those beliefs so that you can open up to receive. We need you. The world needs you. We need you to be rich. We need you to be wealthy. In order to build new hospitals and new schools and new governments and new gardens and new grocery stores and new networks of systems to transport things and new communication systems and all the things that are going to be needed to replace the corrupt system that is falling apart right now is going to require a lot of money. That's just how it works. So we need you to open up to receive it. You deserve it. And there's nothing you need to do to deserve it. You are already perfectly imperfect for your purpose. It's time to remove that veil of illusion that would cause you to believe otherwise. You get to participate in the creation of heaven on earth by stepping into your joy and following your bliss and doing the thing that you love to do every day, all day long. This is your official hall pass, permission slip. You get to be happy. There's nothing stopping you but you. You are the only thing standing in your way, and you have everything you need inside of you. I would love to support you in shifting your self-concept so that you can truly embody the knowing of your worthiness, embody the knowing of your oneness with the divine, embody knowing your perfection and seeing yourself the way your creator sees you. Join us on Friday for the masterclass. There will be a replay if you can't join us live. It'll be 10 a.m. Central Time, live on Zoom, or you can join with your camera off, however you want to do it. There's two paths to accessing the masterclass. One, you can purchase the masterclass outright, or you can join the community and gain access not only to this masterclass, but every masterclass that we will do on a more regular basis coming up. There's also a course in the community, as well as we do meet weekly on Fridays. So if you'd like to do any of the somatic healing work that we do live on Fridays, or just join in chit chat with our community, there we also talk a lot about the course that's around trauma healing and reprogramming your subconscious so that you can start to reclaim your power and self-actualize, achieve your highest potential. All right. I love you, my friends. I will see you on the next video. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste. I am sending you all my love, and I will see you soon. Take care.